Finally, I am submitting my first video, and I apologize for the lateness of this submission. I had so many exigencies at work this week that I couldn't find a time and a place to do this. So now I'm doing it in my car while I'm out running errands, and I'm laughing at myself because I laughed a little bit at Professor Paget, who suggested we might be tuning in just to see what he's wearing this week or what kind of hat he was wearing or something like that. And I thought maybe people will be tuning in to see what location has Catherine found to do her submission this week, because that was really my biggest challenge, I think. Where and when can I be uninterrupted for X number of minutes in order to do this? But here I am making my act of humility by making this video. You know, I do some radio work for the local Catholic radio station, and I think I have a face for radio, but making this recording is a real act of humility for me. But for all my hesitation, I really think that this format is excellent, especially for the topic of this course, where we need to be practicing articulating these ideas clearly and comfortably. And I personally find it fun to put a face to some of the names that I've been watching. We've been taking some classes together, so this is kind of nice. And people have already spoken, my classmates have already spoken eloquently about some of the issues that we face in addressing people of other belief systems, whether, you know, Christian or not Christian, people whose ideas disagree with ours very much. And one thing that I've always gone back to is the parable of the wheat and the tares, or the wheat and the weeds. Not that I want to think of people as weeds ever, but the parable is apt in my mind for several reasons. One is because it's interesting to see how God allows people who are very different, and some even antagonistic, to coexist to some degree, or at least we should. And that's only because a greater good can come. And so if we accept that those tares or those weeds really are a negative, you know, people with negative ideas or the negative ideas themselves, then we can see that God would allow them to remain with us and intimate with us, really close to us, rubbing up against us and stealing some of the nutrients from our roots, only because that makes us stronger, because it forces us to stand taller, and that's a beautiful thing. It breaks down because weeds can't become wheat, and that's what we hope to do for other people, is somehow help them see that it's better another way, that the truth that we're holding out to them is really better for them. And that's incumbent on us. You know, it's our own hearts that have to be continually converted so that we can truly reach out to those people in love. You know, I work for a parish, and of course you see people at every point in the journey toward God, and some of them, you know, running as hard as they can away from God and away from what's true, because they're running from themselves. And so often that is because they haven't yet understood unconditional love, and because they can't understand their belovedness, they do all kinds of stupid things, as we all have done, and their lives get messy. And then here we are as church, ready to help untangle the mess that they've made of their lives by, in a lot of ways, by their own ignorance, because of their lack of understanding. But you know, we make poor choices, and there's always a way out. And this is what I try always to help people understand, and also to help staff people and catechists and, you know, people who are in ministry, also to understand that our job is not to force the truth down their throats, not to, you know, like hold them down until they can really hear it and accept it, but to somehow be that unconditional love that people really don't know. That somehow we have to be like Christ, able to love them all the way to the gates of hell. That there's no point while there's still breath in them, that it's too late to be loving, that it's too late for them to turn toward love and open themselves up a little bit. And so that's the phrase that I use to really drive home that idea that on our side, it has to be about love. On their side, it's grace, and God is at work in them. But that somehow, if we can find it in us, against all odds, and sometimes, you know, amidst a lot of opposition, to love people all the way to the gates of hell. Because there are people that it seems are hell-bent on a direction that is very far from what's true. And it's not our job to convince them. It's just our job to be that loving presence to them. I hope that will inspire some of you to give me some feedback about how we can do that better. I'm always looking for ways to do that better, but I am very much looking forward to looking at the rest of the videos. Thank you.